not enough humanity and sanity in us. How easy it's to throw match and create exposure of fear and hate and anger, and to put all against all. And now they have a war of ignorance, not our war, but our war. The first casualty when war comes is truth. I believe that. Truth is requiring courage. When courage is often lonely. Truth is it's inconvenience because it's require action and self-examination. Stepping out of comfort zone. Comfort that killed the future a long time ago. I think this is wrong in general. I don't accept violence, and I'm worried. About everyone who goes through it right now, and it's not only Ukraine. I witness war and its side effects of years, even in the most peaceful times. I still live it. It's a lot more complicated. In today's world, we live in the constant trauma, and at any time, there's a huge number of victims of cruelty, of stupidity, of fear, of inner anger. Unfortunately, there is always lots of that in our lives. That doesn't mean that anything can be justified, and that's not my job. My job is to be reasonable, responsible, human, and try to bring less hate in this world, especially at a time like now. My job is to practice rational versus emotional, to be courageous enough to face the reality and avoid the chaos of ignorance, to see the situation as it is and make best choices I can. I love people, not Russians, not Ukrainian, not American, people. And this is the most important to me. That's my civic position, for those who want to know. My position is to help people as much as I can. I don't public speaking and truth sharing, it's kind of under pressure right now. I'm here not to make political statements. I understand how complicated and voluminous any political decision is, and trying to understand it based on some official explanation of some version of what's going on, information what you've been given or what you can put your hands on. Just naive. I know it's very complicated situation right now in the whole world as whole. change of power to politics, economics, time of consolidation and divide. Big power colliding and moving away from each other and bringing huge human sacrifices. This and it's not just Russia and Ukraine, it's about the whole world. And it's about choices, and it's about people. People like to adopt some new identity, racing daily for some new classifications. Those are promoting even more divide. We put ourselves, we limit ourselves and automatically create in and out circles, tribes. We rely on the inner and casting out outers, comparing and competing, not healthy competing. We're not collaborating, we're competing, we're hating. The pressure of fitting into pack requires to have and share opinions. Ukraine, Russian, American, Democrat, Republican, black, white, manager, supervisor, poor, rich, religious, spiritual, atheist, man, woman, and so on. This way we are stealing freedom from ourselves and corporately execute others. What a stupid game. Today we're spending time trying to fit in an opinionated, burning hate. And we don't have time for truth seeking or even situation awareness. Fear of not belonging to the identity that we put ourselves in, it's robbing us in every way. And it is our fault. Adults who talk about housekeeping or family far away without even stepping one foot in their house. But at the same time, their own backyard full of weeds with lost kids, broken families, depressed neighbors, lonely people. Or Christians who rebukes the sin of those who do not read the Bible in the same way. Those are funding another crime. They don't know. Why? Because of fear, the fear of finding the truth. How do we judge without any knowledge or even attempt to understand? How do we cry for lost life and desire another one in exchange? Why do we think our opinion is so important? When it's not even opinion, it's just pure ignorance. How you can disagree with somebody's opinion when you don't want to even or afraid to listen what they have to say? How you can protect or defend someone far away from different world when you don't even notice crime under your own nose? When you're full of hate and distribution of that anger on your own kids. Your own kids can face the tragic days. I think and I get it, it is so important to understand that in events like that, yes, this is shocking and disturbing and scary. People start to think about themselves and how they're going to live and what will happen next and so on. And they really grasp information from one to another and try build some intimate models that will explain everything to them. But hard to understand what's really going on. And you can only count on gaining inner peace, which we all need in situations like that. If you can rise above what's going on and look at what's going on in bigger context, in real context, the world is constantly going through the crisis, stresses, wars, redistribution of power, and so on. And that's have been going through the human history. I always want to say that's not going to happen with us, but we're naive. People constructed that way, they will constantly create new and new conflicts, new and new points of tension as a consequences of our generation. Back, just a little bit back, there were wars, revolutions, fundamental transformation, which lead to huge casualties. For example, the war in Iran and Afghanistan, or fallout of Soviet Union. Now it's Ukraine. Nobody want to talk about those enormous casualties. What about after effect? Do you know that Americans who fought in Vietnam, the suicide after the war, it's actually those veterans twice as many than actual combat casualties. But we react to a report of deaths today. Our task is simple. Those who better off in situation supposed to help those who are less fortunate, and not by blankets and a can of corns, but investing your time in finding truth. And shut up. Stop talking about something you don't know. Stop giving your opinions if you don't know what's going on. This is not the freedom. This is murdering with your words. History is the huge fundamental process that moves not depending on our interests and our positions anywhere. What upset me personally the most is that no one wants to think. This is going to sound strange, but no one wants to think or hear inconvenient truth. This war was predictable. But people is not predictable, and people kill people. People hate. There will be more wars. And we live in a very, very difficult time. And I'm asking you, please be responsible, adult. Let's write the history with less hate. Think before you speak of opinion. Think what it might cost. Think what it can cost to others, what it can cost to you. We're already lonely people. That's enough. The hate is enough already there. I'm begging you, for this country, for people, for your kids, for my kids, for you, for me. Be courageous. Find the truth. Don't hate. And if you don't understand, you're not alone. Just do your best. I found the truth. I'm scared too. But we're all scared of unknown. But I'm more scared of us, of people. Please. Don't share your opinion that loudly. Unless you really, really know what's going on. Don't judge, please. Don't execute. And stop dividing. I am Russian. I am Ukrainian. I am Kazakh. I am American. And I'm human. And I don't want to, afraid to knock at your door. And I don't want you to afraid to knock to my door. We're meant to be creators. Let's create. Stop.